Okay, all right. I think we are live. Let me check on my end. Jason Gunn, how's things? How's your weekend? Yeah, so fast we are already at the second last month of the year. How's 2023 treating you so far? I hope everything is good. Ah, crazy, right? How time flies, and we are already entering 2024, and a lot of businesses are already preparing for 2024. Well, I think it's gonna be as exciting as it should be for every year. But basically, 2024, I think there will no longer be a lot of talks about like the B to online to offline, offline to online kind of stuff. I think the like the emergence of kind of like the blending stuff of like the marketing combination of things are actually happening in almost all industries right now. I guess businesses has to really level up in many ways right now as the behavior shifts and the market trend changes and all that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about you, but I'm actually excited about 2024. So yeah. But when it comes to advertising, especially Facebook advertising, which is what I specialize in, I think it is still a very important place for most businesses, especially if your business is about like reaching new people, introducing your product or services to them, and hopefully you're able to connect with them and get them to consider buying from you. Facebook and Instagram combined, it remains as one of the, like the top, actually, not one of, it's really still at the top of, like the active outreach marketing and advertising. Of course, we have contenders like TikTok, and some are using other platforms like X and Pinterest and all that. But TikTok is actually the second strongest contender, and on top of that, we have YouTube as well. These are outreach kind of advertising. But I would say at the moment, Facebook and Instagram combined, based on my observation, because I have a lot of businesses from all around the world in terms of Facebook advertising, and based on my observation, Facebook and Instagram combined is still the leading platforms because the spending power is stronger among those users. And second thing is, I think the readiness to consume advertisement and really consider buying from businesses is actually a lot stronger on Facebook and Instagram. So if you ask me, I think it's still a very important place for us to really pay attention to. So yeah, getting the strategy right and everything is still a very important thing to do. So yeah, so that's something that we're actually looking forward to in 2024. But anyway, so if this is the first time you watch this, welcome again. This is Ask Jason Anything. Let me bring this up. So Ask Jason Anything happens every Sunday night at 10 p.m. I don't usually skip, but on and off, I may have maybe once every 2 to 3 months kind of stuff. I would have gap, like last week we didn't do because I had something else to do. But basically, this is what I do on almost every Sunday night at 10 p.m. Malaysia time. So I answer questions about Facebook advertising, Meta advertising, and anything digital marketing, but more towards Facebook advertising. So if you have any questions at all when it comes to Facebook advertising, I would recommend that first you go to my YouTube channel. And on my YouTube channel, I've actually posted more than 1,000 videos about Facebook advertising mainly. I've answered a lot of questions, more than 1,000 questions about Facebook advertising. Probably I've answered something similar to what you have in mind right now. But nonetheless, if you can't find an answer to your question, don't worry. All you need to do is just ask your question as a comment on any of my YouTube videos. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the screenshot and I'm actually answer your question on the following Sunday, just like how I'm going to do um, like the answering questions right now in a bit. So yeah, so just come back on the second week on the following Sunday and to listen to my answers, and that's how simple it is. Okay, now just in case if you have some pressing questions, you need immediate attention, you want to have some really quick answers to some pressing questions you have about Facebook advertising, you're not sure whether your campaign is doing good or not, you're not sure why your campaign is not performing, you want some quick answers, you can actually scan this QR code, and this will bring me to my Fiverr gig. This is one of my most famous Fiverr gig ever. All right. I've worked with hundreds of Facebook advertisers from all around the world, more than 50 countries right now. Basically, this is for me to answer any questions you have for half an hour over Zoom. So yeah, so just click on this link, go to Fiverr, buy me a mail, and then you'll receive a link to schedule a 30-minute Zoom call with me. And in there, we can actually answer any questions you have. We can review your campaign. We can, like do screen share, anything we want. Okay, so that's that. Now, just in case you want to level up your Facebook advertising, I do have this Facebook Ads Masterclass going on every 2 months. That's the schedule that we're doing right now. So if you are interested in learning Facebook advertising, this is suitable for like beginners definitely. And if you are like intermediate Facebook advertisers, you have dabbled with Facebook advertising for a while, you're still not sure about certain features, certain tools, and whatnot, right? This training is still a very useful one for you. So this is a live Zoom training. Okay, it's a 3 hour training. So just come in, and eventually we will have a 3 hour training. We will talk about a few things. First, I'll talk about my strategy building framework, as in like when it comes to Facebook advertising, you shouldn't be just running ads just one tier, just like that. You need to have a framework, you need to have a strategy. So I will share with you my two-step funnel strategy, how I build it. And second thing is I will start with the audience, the objective selection, which is very essential. How to choose the right objective, why and why not, and audience targeting. We talk about detailed targeting. We talk about lookalike audience. We talk about custom audiences. We talk about targeting, retargeting, exclusion. So these are all the things we talk about in audience targeting. And the fourth thing we talk about is what do we call that? The latest Facebook ads and copywriting trend, because I coach businesses from all around the world in Facebook advertising. So certain ads that are working right now in certain countries, certain ads that are not working right now in certain countries, I would actually give you the latest updated ones, the do's and don'ts when it comes to advertising, design and copywriting. And the fourth one is about what do we call that? What's that already? Yeah, the analytics. Like running ads is actually the easiest part. I always like to tell people, but whether your campaign is doing good or not, and why is it doing good or not doing good? How do we actually use the numbers to back our assumptions and build hypotheses and actually optimize our campaign? That's what I'm actually going to touch in the later part of the training. So 3 hours training is a live Zoom training. If you can join me live, otherwise you'll get the recording. So if the time is not right, if like if you're living in a different time zone and the time that I'm doing is in the afternoon Malaysia time, so it may not be the perfect one for you. Doesn't matter. Just come in and I'll give you the recording anyway, so you can actually use that and to do your revision and whatnot. So that's what we do. Okay, right. So let's go into the first question right now. Now, the first question is coming from Mohammed. Okay, so this is a question about TikTok ads account and TikTok Business Center. So if you're running ads on TikTok, you will see that if you're familiar with Facebook advertising, you'll see that TikTok advertising in terms of the interface and the structure is very similar to Facebook advertising. So if you are familiar with Facebook ads, going in will not be difficult for you. So Mohammed's question is about how to share audiences between two business center. So I think the first thing first, you need to actually tie these two business center as partners. So one business center will act as an agency. The one that you want to share your audience to, you will act as a business, and the person that you want to share to, the different business center, would be a partner as an agency. So first, you need to actually establish this, like a partnership. And once you have added this person into your business center as a partner, you are able to assign assets to them. So inside assigning assets, you can assign pixel, you can assign, ad accounts, you can assign TikTok accounts, you can assign what do we call your audiences as well. So that's what I understand, because I have not gone into TikTok advertising for a few months right now. So something may change, but essentially the framework remains the same. So you try it out and see whether you're able to do that. But I understand in certain countries, certain features are not allowed. So you probably have to understand, if you don't see the option of sharing audience and all, you want to see whether, whether this is the feature. I mean, this feature is available in your country or not. So that's something you want to look into. Okay, right. Mohammed, just a real quick. I mean, I may or may not 100% understand what it is, but if you need help navigating this together, you can actually scan this QR code and, of course, buy me a mail. Then we can spend 30 minutes navigating all these, interface in TikTok Business Center, TikTok Ads account, and all that, and do all this sharing with you together. So yeah, if you want that, just scan this QR code and we can actually have a 30-minute Zoom call to do whatever we need to do. Okay, right. Then next question is coming from Vimar. Okay, so it's a question about how to create privacy policy for Facebook lead gen ads. Now, for those who run ads on Facebook to generate leads, lead form is really one of the most effective way to get leads in the most cheap way. I'm not saying that cheap means no good, but of course the quality may not be as good as doing landing page. But landing page, The problem here is, like it's a longer route, and you may not get as many leads. If you want volume, then lead gen is still the best. But having said that, running a lead gen form ads requires you to put in a privacy policy. Now, usually, if you have a website, any website URL, put that in the privacy policy URL, like the form, everything will work. But for those who doesn't have a website, my workaround is you can actually create a Google Doc, and then after that, make it available, for everyone. And then after that, you're able to use that link as your lead form requirement, as in the privacy policy link. So, Vilma, if you ask me, as of we are making this video right now, it still works because I haven't received any complaint that it doesn't work. You can actually read the comment. In this video itself, we have a lot of comments. People have been using it, and I think it works. And for anyone else who needs help creating like a privacy policy link for your Facebook lead gen ads, watch this video as well. Just go over. Okay? Right. So that's that. Thanks for the question. And the next one coming up is coming from EY. So the question is about having trouble in page poses. You have created your Facebook ads, but there is no single post showing in the page post section. Now, you have to understand that an ad are usually dark poses. Okay, so if you use the Facebook Ads Manager and create an ad inside the Ads Manager, all these ads are, dark poses. And we used to have the option of sharing an ad post to the Facebook, like page timeline, but that feature is now being taken away. So we can't do that anymore. So what's the workaround? The workaround is you create a page post first, right? You go to your Facebook page, create a post, all right? And then after that, go into the Facebook Ads Manager and create an ad using an existing post and select that one. And of course, once you go in, you're able to edit some of the, like a format a little bit, maybe adding buttons and all that. And doing so will reflect on the original post in your Facebook page timeline. So that's how the workaround works. Yeah, I mean, it's bad that, like Facebook sometimes takes away some features, and we do not know whether they would actually put it back in the future. But at the moment, you are not allowed to share an ad post, which is essentially, conventionally, we call them the dark poses, into your Facebook page anymore, but you can do it the other way around. So that's how we do it. Okay, EY, all the best. And next question coming up is coming from Blue Rock TTV. So this question is about, you have access to star subscriptions and branded content, but you have no access to in-stream ads. I know it's painful, right? Because in-stream ads is the one that makes you the most money. So you have tried everything. They say you have a policy issue and content monetization for in-stream ad. Now, very simple. Usually it's about music. If you have content using, like any copyrighted music and all that, usually your content are not allowed to run, to actually receive revenue for Facebook ads. But seriously, if anything happened to your account that way, they should have actually emailed you in any way to tell you that, oh, this is happening. So I would actually encourage that you go in and try to navigate in your business manager if there is any so-called warning signs coming up in anywhere. So you would learn what's really happening to your ad account. To your Facebook page. And if there's anything, or even Instagram account, if there's anything you can do. But usually when you have violated the rules, there is no appeal right now. If your account is being flagged that you're not allowed to do this thing, then probably there is no way for you to actually review. What I would actually advise is based on a little bit of experience. I don't have a lot of experience in this area of, like making revenue from, posting content and all that, which is like, the ad revenue, right? What we usually do is try to keep the account clean for a few months. Usually that restriction would get better after you have been performing really well, as in like you have been following the rules and everything. They find it, like, oh, this guy's too cool. And then they probably will give the feature back to you. Probably. We're not 100% sure, but probably. So you can try. But nonetheless, my first, recommendation is try to go into your account and go back to the emails and see if they've sent you anything telling you what really happened. But my best guess is usually about, the audio, which is the music content. So that's usually what is stopping a lot of creators in generating revenue from, like Facebook ads and all. So try to go that route and see. Otherwise, I know you actually go and appear and you go and talk to them and they don't really give you a lot of useful information. That's the problem with Meta support right now. But then again, that's all I have for you. I'm sorry if I may not really have a solid answer for you, but try to go those route and probably, like maybe try to do really good for a few months. Probably the future will come back. Yeah, all the best. And let's go to the last one. So this is the last question I received from my YouTube channel. So Orange Rocks is asking about building Facebook ads URL parameter. So you have a question. So which option should you use if you want to only differentiate between a conversion coming from an ad and a conversion coming in organically? This you don't do it on Facebook side. Okay, of course, the first thing first, you need to make sure that when you are actually running Facebook ads, in the URL parameter, you make sure that you insert the ad ID. So that will give you the ad ID so that you know that which ad is generating. I mean, all this conversion is going to which ad. Now, about conversion, organic conversion, you don't do it in Facebook Ads Manager. You do it in, what do we call that? Google Analytics. Because Facebook Ads Manager, and as in like all these conversions and all that, they only give you conversion that is attributed to the Facebook ads. So if a conversion that does not attribute back to Facebook ads, it would not appear in your business, in your Facebook Ads Manager. So if you want to actually gain an overview about like knowing which ad is working, I mean, whether your ad's working or your organic is working, and you want to actually have a more accurate count on, like which one is giving you that, you need to have a Google Analytics, not Facebook ads. I mean, you have to always understand Facebook Pixel, Meta Pixel, Meta's conversion API is actually meant for attribution, not really for analytics. It's not an analytical tool per se. That's all. I mean, what I always like to emphasize. Analytic tools are tools like Google Analytics. These are all analytical tools, but Metapixel, it's analytical, yes, to a certain extent, but it's mainly for attribution and, of course, the audience tagging for retargeting and exclusion and etc. So that's what we do. Okay, all right. But of course, if you need more help, if you have further questions about this thing, you want to know more, you can always scan this QR code, remember, and then this will take me to my Fiverr gig. All you need to do is buy me a mail, and then you will be able to schedule a 30 minutes discussion with me to go through further questions you have about, all these Facebook advertising related questions and all. So yeah, do that if you need. Otherwise, just all the best. Yeah, so that's what we have right now. So before I go to some of the chats, I can see some comments are coming in. I have this very important question coming from one of my audience, my client last week. Like they bought me they bought a Fiverr gig and they came in. The main question is they are not getting leads on Facebook ads. So if you're running ads on Facebook trying to generate leads, especially if you're doing a landing page. So for their case is for landing page. So basically what is happening here is they're driving people to a landing page and the conversion is happening on the landing page and it's not getting conversion. So what we do here is, so this is actually a very common problem that is happening to a lot of Facebook advertisers, especially in our opinion. We generally refer to lead gen using a landing page usually gets us higher quality audience, but you have to understand that also means that the audience will go through a longer route. And eventually, if your landing page is not being optimized, you might not get a lot of conversion. But if worst case is you're not getting any of them. So here's what we do. Now, the first very important so-called hypothesis we will build is you might be getting the wrong audience in. So what do you mean by getting the wrong audience in? So this is a situation where when you have a very catchy ad, in a way, people likes to use catchy, but in my opinion, they are clickbaity and they are deceptive even sometimes. So an ad that is not really related to your business, but you're using a different specific angle, like to just lure these people in, hopefully you're able to convert them on the landing page. So if you have this kind of situation, you will have a very common trait. Just go and check your CTR. So if you have very high CTR, meaning the people are clicking, and then after that, and you check the next number on your landing page view, then you have very high landing page, but you're not getting any conversion. The next thing I want you to check is go to Google Analytics. That's why I always say, do not only rely on Facebook ads data. You need to have Google Analytics if you're driving landing page view anyway. So go to Google Analytics and check the bounce rate and the average time spent on your landing page. So if average time spent is less than 5 seconds and the bounce rate is up to like 95, 97%, then you know that you probably brought in the wrong people. So that's the first thing. So if you have this kind of situation, I would actually recommend that you change to your ad. Try to position your ad in a more clearer way. Try not to be too deceptive or so-called clickbaity. Make sure you really deliver and tell people what it is all about so that you actually connect with the right people. So that's a very important thing. So bring them in and see whether you improve your conversion. Now the other situation here is, okay, your landing page is not performing. So this is a little bit more complicated to say, because I really need to see your landing page first. Otherwise, I won't be able to give you recommendation. But usually what happens is, if you have very, like, let's say if you, like, based on my client's situation the other day, what they did was they have a very lengthy introduction at the very beginning. So that actually may distract people off. And they put the form at the very bottom. Now, some may argue that if you put the form at the bottom, then you probably will get higher quality people, because only those who really read through and scroll to the very bottom will become your lead, and you eventually use that as a filtering. But now the problem here is you're not getting leads. So if you're not getting leads, then you probably don't want to actually put it at the too bottom. You want to bring it up a little bit and see whether you get people or not. So on the landing page, there are a few angles we look at: the arrangement of it, the copywriting, okay, and even the color you use sometimes may affect as well. And the fourth one is, of course, the offer. So if you are not able to really kind of like explain your offer in a very, very clear way at the very beginning, the bounce rate is going to be high. So you want to check your bounce rate. If your CTR and everything coming in is good from the front end, and your bounce rate is actually very high as well, then you probably want to fix a bit on your landing page to see whether, moving. If your time span is slightly longer, I mean, the other situation we were talking about, the wrong audience, the time span is going to be very, very low. But if your time span is okay, but you're not converting, then you probably want to move the form a little bit upper, or probably just tweak a little bit in terms of the offer and the copywriting to see whether that works. That's why all these takes a few steps. Like we probably will test one variable at the time, maybe let it run for 3 days to a week. Then, we observe, then we use another set of data to really do optimization. But nonetheless, if you're running lead gen ads on Facebook and you're not getting leads, look at these two angles. But of course, like I say, every case is unique. If you really want to have a very thorough review on your campaign, why is it not getting you any leads, you can actually scan this QR code. This will take you to my Fiverr gig. Okay, so this is a gig where I actually review Facebook ads campaigns. And eventually what we're going to do is we're going to dive into the numbers, right? So yeah, you just come on, and we're going to actually do a Zoom screen share. So we're going to analyze the campaign. I'm going to actually teach you how to analyze what are the metrics that we look into. And from there, I'm going to give you a report as in like, oh, this is really what is happening in my opinion. And I will give you a plan as in like, oh, these are the first thing you do. Okay. And after that, another week, if it's not happening, then test and second variable and the third one. Usually we will have at least, 2 to 3, sometimes even 5 recommendations that you can actually try in the following few weeks. So that's what I'm going to actually do with you. So if you are interested to find out why your lead gen Facebook ads campaign are not getting you any leads, scan this QR code and we can actually have a 30 minutes discussion to see what's really happening in your campaign. Okay, right. So that's all the question I have. Let's take a look at some of the comments over here. So Binu said, waiting for live. And you were waiting for my live video. Welcome. Thanks for joining me. And Edzer is saying, as long as you set up your UTM parameters correctly, you can easily differentiate organic versus paid sources. You're right. So the UTM ones will be actually attributed to the, and organic, you would say it's coming from organic. So Edzel, thanks for chipping in. So yes, that's right. So basically just set the UTM right and you will know everything. But if you really want to have all these numbers, just in case you do not have Google Analytics, I would recommend that you have that. Okay. All right, guys, that's what we have. Thank you so much for joining me. And of course, if you need further help, just post your questions on any of my YouTube videos and I'll actually answer questions on the following Sunday. But if you need immediate attention, scan this QR code or the other one that I showed you earlier. And, then we can actually have a 30-minute Zoom discussion to see whatever questions you have or to review your Facebook ads campaign in case you're not getting any leads or any sales with your Facebook ads campaign. Okay. So with that, thank you so much for joining and I'll see you next week. Thanks. Have a fantastic week ahead and good night. Bye.